Hello and welcome to episode 228 of NOLA Time. My name is Obed Velez and with me is Doctor Strange Secondhand Man, Mr. Joel Young. Dr. Joel Young.
The doctor's in, guys. Get ready.
No, he's stretching. Man.
Get ready.
Get ready. He's stretching.
Yeah. Good to be with you, Obed.
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, doing great, man. Doing great. We got tons of stuff to talk about today. We're gonna probably, dispense with the pleasantries here in a second, but I do have a what's up. If you don't mind me sharing, I finally got to see Sonic, so I just want to show my opinions on that. But been doing all right. Had better afternoons, but personal stuff, but it's no, it's good. It's good. So we had a chance to finally go see Sonic over the weekend, or past weekend, and it was good. Again, really enjoyed it. Really good. Also, if you're listening, be warned, like the first 30 minutes of this podcast will have spoilers for multiple things. Sonic, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange. So
we're diving in.
So be warned, and we're hoping that you're caught up and you can you can share your opinions with us, I guess. So it'll be a good place to start it. But Sonic, very good. Enjoyed it. Yeah, budget was definitely upgraded on this movie for sure. I did see the supersonic thing a mile away. That's like, that was pretty obvious. Like if you're familiar with Sonic, you would, that's good. Jim Carrey was great. Everyone was good. The only part of the movie that I would have just cut is the wedding thing. It was
hilarious, but it felt like a different movie.
It was, because it was definitely filler, right? It's like, hey, we're running low on the CG budget, so we got to do something to fill the time. So it felt like padding, basically. Some of it was funny, right? Some of it was really dumb, but some of it was funny, and it kind of worked. But that was the only part of the movie that I was like, this is I can do without this, and we can go straight to the point, and it wouldn't have mattered to me, right? But it was good. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed everyone. It was good, and the thing is that before Shadow, I would have liked to see. I mean, who knows, right? We may still see some of this happen in the beginning of the next movie. Of course, that movie was already confirmed that it's happening, but Shadow's awesome, right? And that stinger at the end was really good, and people in the movie theater were cheering. It's like, it was still like quite a lot of people. This was the fourth week that it was out, so it wasn't packed, but there was still like a lot of people, a lot of kids. So, good for them, right? And then everyone was like, "Oh, Shadow, Shadow, that's awesome. So that's cool, right? But then where's Amy, right? You gotta get Amy in before you get Shadow, and you gotta like I would have liked to see Metal Sonic before Shadow.
Oh, okay.
I
Wow.
think but I think Metal Sonic was like really relegated to like a jobber now. Like Shadow is the new Metal Sonic. Like he took over what like that role that Metal Sonic had. Basically Shadow is for fulfilling that. So yeah, it was good. It was good. I'm wondering if they're gonna go weird with the Shadow stuff, and it was Robotnik's grandfather that started the project, and like this whole thing from Sonic Adventure 2. And you know what's gonna happen at the end, right? If you did you ever play Sonic Adventure 2 on GameCube?
I did.
Okay, we're going to space. We're gonna fight a giant lizard space station
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. So, and so my only criticism that I have, other than the wedding thing, right? It's the music. The music was good, but there would have been there's moments in the movie that you could have, or the director could have used music from the games. Like, bro, it's like you get the snowboarding thing. Why are you not playing the music from the ice level from Sonic 3? It's like that sort of thing, right? It's like there's points in the movie where it's like, oh yeah, this would have been great here and there with the music, right? Because the music is like super generic. That's the thing. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's just generic, kind of like kids movie thing. And it could have had more, I guess, callbacks to the classic Sonic games or even Sonic Adventures. So, yeah. A lot of references, like Sonic Heroes is a reference, which is like, that's a sort of like a deep cut game that a lot of people forgot about. But then I went online and I was like, oh no, a lot of people like remembered Sonic Heroes. And then when I saw, that little sequence at the end when the three of them are going against the big, Robotnik robot, that was very Sonic Heroes-esque, and it was good. I enjoyed it, man. It was good. My daughter had a great time. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I feel like on par, right? Like how the first one you went in and you were like, oh wow, this actually is this is actually a good movie. Like you watch this movie, you're like, yeah, this is still a good movie.
Yeah.
So
it's on par. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the third one though, like to your point, that's where I'm curious to see how crazy they get with it, because like this was very successful. The first one, I don't think they were prepared for the success. And I don't mean that that'd be terrible, but I think it also benefited from the pandemic, the world health crisis that was happening at that moment, right? Where it became the number one movie by default. But you look at it and obviously it helped, like you mentioned, the budget get bigger for this movie.
Yeah.
So there's things that they're able to do when you get finally to that end sequence, right, where it really starts to go crazy. But I do imagine that now after two successful, not having. If one thing, you have your first movie, then you have a stinker or something, then that could throw things off. But they don't have that. They got two good steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think the foundation is good enough for them to really take off. Like you mentioned, maybe they do not just have, Shadow. Maybe they do have Amy. Maybe they do have Metal Sonic, in that next movie. But they just only let off with the Shadow thing being the little tease, because he's maybe, I don't know, recognizable like more right now than the other one. I don't know. Like it's but I loved that sequence.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. So, real quick before we jump into Moon Knight, update about family. So we talked about the ridiculousness of Fast 9, right? It was last episode when we talked about. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, Louis Leterrier is taking over that movie. Did you get to see that the Instagram video, the cringe video? No. There's a really cringy video with Vin Diesel and Justin Lin, and you can tell that Justin Lin is like done. He's done with like Vin Diesel's crap. So.
Which is funny because people made fun of The Rock for having beef with Vin Diesel, right? But you don't hear these kind of stories about The Rock on set where people or directors don't like working with him, or other actors
Showing
don't
up
like
late.
working with him.
Yeah.
Showing up late. You don't hear those kind of stories from The Rock, so this is interesting.
Can't remember the lines. Like, that was the thing, right?
He's out of shape, he said.
Yeah, out of shape. Yeah. And I told you, there's like Vin Diesel's what, like 55 or whatever. Let's see. So we gotta look it up on the fly.
He doesn't care anymore.
On the fly, we looking this up.
He is a producer, though.
He's 54. He's 54. So at some point, right, like, no amount of weights are gonna, like, and and that's, and he's not like the Rob, like the Rock's Dwayne Johnson, he keeps it up. Like, he's out there like every day doing the grind, right? Vin Diesel's like, I gotta do a movie, so now I gotta go work out for the movie.
Go back to the gym.
Yeah, exactly. So that, I don't. I think this is gonna be the last one. I don't think they're gonna, like, if they
really?
can't if they can't get Vin Diesel to just act. Well, you can't get Vin Diesel to act anyway, right? Because it's like,
I mean, but
forgetting
if you make money,
the line, shows up and says it's all about family. You forget that? Come on.
If it makes money, they'll do whatever at that point, right? And that's why I think they did the spinoff with the Hobbs and Shaw thing, right? Because you can still have Fast and Furious even without him.
Yeah. Well, you can have, like,
it doesn't have to die because Vin Diesel.
You can just spin it off, spin it off, and then let it do its thing, But it had its time in the sun. It's time to let it die.
Obed's favorite franchise.
Kill it, kill it.
I'm with you. It's been a long show.
Yeah, I have fond memories, right? But at some point, I just stopped caring, and it should have ended at 5, honestly. So
yeah.
All right. Ending Moon Knight. 8 out of 10 according to IGN.com. Yeah, so according to them, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Joe, I know that we may agree to disagree in a few things. I think that when there's too many unanswered questions that sort of get a quasi answer with the end credit stinger, but there's too much, right? You can't end it here because there's just too much. People are gonna ask for it, right? And I think that's where I could see some of the criticism, right? Because the ending feels sort of abrupt on the show, right? So I think that the show should have ended at the end credit scene, and then there should have been something else for the end credit scene. But like the ending when he's strapped back in the bed and he falls down and it just cuts, right? That felt a little abrupt, and I can totally see that. That said, it looks like they really saved up the budget for this episode, because it was, you get a kaiju fight, get that
was cool.
Street fight. Again, the editing in this show has been top notch.
Yeah.
So so whoever edited this show, it's the person that you need to re-edit Rise of Skywalker.
I don't even know the editing on that, bro. Even a good editor, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That storyline.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I want to hear from you, because I was when we talked briefly yesterday, I was curious where your thoughts were. So
yeah, I think most people can say if you watch the total point of the show, like, you judge the finale, but the finale is really a culmination of everything that came before, right? So I'm judging it not based on just one episode. I'm judging it based now on the whole show. I feel like if I judge it just based on the one pure episode itself, it's not bad, but it does not do the justice I would have liked from a culmination standpoint for the show. And I think of the finales we got, like from Loki, that was a great send off, right? Great ending. And Hawkeye was a solid ending, I thought, too. WandaVision, I thought a really good finale. Like, you think of those kind of shows, and when I think of Moon Knight, I just think of a little sloppy, a little rushed. And I don't think it was a disaster by any means. Like, you hear that, it's like, oh, Joel hates the finale. No, I mean, I think all this, the stuff you said that was good is the same thing as I was like, oh yeah, like I love that incredible action sequence at the end there, right? I love that really awesome, they say kaiji kind of, the gods fighting each other real huge, I love seeing, Moon Knight finally get his action sequences, and those sequences are really good because like one of my comments with Boba Fett, right, was those kind of like old man fights, like I like, Tamara, but like he's when he takes the helmet off and he's fighting, it was slow mo moves. You could tell he was really trying to do his thing. But like when you put the helmet on, right, you can have a stunt double. Well, that's the same thing I felt with this show. I like that when the suit's on, it's whatever person that they have running it, and any stunt actors, what I'm trying to say, doing the moves. So those action sequences, especially when they're just straight on, him and Layla straight on charging through the Brunts. That's an incredible, awesome sequence.
Yeah.
I think all that stuff's cool. But then, like, for examples, when I'm saying about Rush, right? Like, Layla's probably one of the first things that comes to mind, right? Like, you get all this buildup of this stuff from the beginning where she's trying to bring back, Mark and Steven. And I like that. But then, like, she's, like, trapped behind a cliff. And then it's, like, this weird, like, 30-second sequence where she's spazzing out, being possessed. Oh yeah, sure. To take over. Yeah. 2 seconds like, I got powers. I'm good. Whatever. And I'm like, what is going on here? There's a lot in this finale I could cherry pick. I don't want to go through the laundry list of it, but like it's moments like that you watch it and you were like, for me, a little kooky. Like fans, like a fan side, you probably wouldn't care because you're like, hey, you know what? This happens. Cool. I know that's the character, no thing, whatever. It doesn't really bother them. But like me just trying to watch it and being a little more objective with it, it did take me a little out of it at certain moments. So I was like, really? That's the way you're going? Okay, sure. But you still get really awesome sequences. It's very well put together, very cinematic, very aesthetically beautiful. But then again, like I'm saying, then it just ends and you're like, okay, this doesn't feel like this is the way it's supposed to end. But then you get that post credits that felt like that was the real ending. So at least you get that at the end. I like that. But even that, I got to be honest with you, man, that didn't get me as hyped for season 2, which I'm not so certain that there will be a full on season 2, to be honest, after this. Yep. There may be some continuation of his character, but I'm not sure what extent they go, because it's like, okay, so Lockley is clearly the one that the gods are using, right, to instead of Steven and Mark, but we all know it's the same body, it's just another personality. Yeah. So what is he going to do? Make him start punching himself to trying to get at it? Like I think it got a little deep, but it also got a little trying to do too much. And I would have liked to have a little bit more of a more final conclusion that felt like the book closed. I would compare it kind of to Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale, where I thought that was a good finale, right? Like I liked that too, but it felt also a little sloppy too when you really think about it. So when you think about overall the show, you're like, it's fine, but then you get that ending and it didn't leave necessarily the taste in your mouth that maybe like a show like Loki did, or a show like like we're saying WandaVision or Hawkeye or something. That's just my opinion. But again, that does not mean that I've just canceled the show or something. I'm just saying, the finale wasn't what I would have liked it to have been.
Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from. There's too much that was left out, I feel, and I totally agree with you, right? I think that they were not, like, I don't think when they intended to make this show that it would be just a one season. I think they intended for this to be longer, right?
Yeah.
But it may just end here and that will be it, right? So who knows? Although, I mean, they do put it on when you go to Disney Plus, you get season 1 episode,
right?
Number, right? So I don't know. I really don't know where this could be coming from. I'm pretty sure, and from what I've read, Oscar Isaac had a really good time with He's fantastic. The director. He got along with everyone just fine, and even he said, "I was like, well, changed my opinion in some of the things that we were doing, like the Star Wars and and X-Men and all this stuff that we were doing before. It kind of like changed my, made me look back and appreciate it and kind of like changed my mind about it. So, I mean, we don't know, but it was good. I think I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think the end credit scene was very good.
Yeah.
You're definitely going with like a totally different personality with Jake, and it was great. I think I was like the ending sequence was really good. The kaiju battle stuff was good. Like there was really weight behind it. It was really well done, well directed. Again, this show was very well shot all around. The director did a really good job with everything, and yeah, I mean it's under the limitations and constraints that you would have doing a show, right? This was, I think, better than average as a whole, right? So
yeah, no, I agree.
Like I think this is better. Like this, it's half the length. It is probably 3 times better than Iron Fist season 1.
Oh yeah. Like, no, I agree.
Like this is like it's very good, right? Thing is that these things are expensive. They're getting out of hand. We'll see where it goes. And yeah, I'm hoping to see him back and get some of those unanswered questions, because there's definitely there's meat there for another 2, maybe another 2 seasons, honestly. So there's just quite a lot. So yeah, we'll definitely, I guess, wait and see. But yeah, I'm sorry, you had something else.
No, I was just saying, I don't know if you saw the creators put some commentary on what they would like to see for the next season. And now one of the cool things was with Lockley, they want to have him in the black suit when he comes out instead. So I was like, that'd be pretty cool. So there's ideas. There's definitely enough there. And that's what you can sense when you watch it. You can sense that there's a lot trying to happen. Which I would rather them at least have ideas than have no vision, right? We've seen plenty of things fail because it's just too looking down the one rabbit hole. But at the same time, I like it when you look at what's in front of you, when you're able to feel like when you go to the next book, it feels like a new chapter, not a continuation of the same chapter. That's just me, at least. Yeah. So, unless it's designed to be some kind of trilogy or something, maybe and then it would make more sense at that point. But it wasn't promoted to me in that kind of way. Like, this is going to be the Moon Knight, and then whatever they do after. But maybe that will change. I don't know. But yeah, still all around though, like you mentioned, it's not like it's it's not like it's a disaster or something. Like like Iron Fist was not a memorable show in the way that should be.
No, absolutely. Definitely. So, Joel, before we go into Doctor Strange, let's take a break. Gotta check something that's going on here on my end of the system, and I guess we'll be right back. And we're back. That wasn't too bad. So, all right, Joe. I was gonna text you yesterday.
Yeah.
About Multiverse of Madness, and I chose not to because I wanted you to go to the movie and enjoy it, right?
Thank you, sir.
But this movie had no shield, bro. This is like we don't care. First of all, it's probably the most violent out of all the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty crazy. Wait a second. Who directed this movie again? I can't remember because I couldn't really tell from some of the shots in the movie, right? This is like Evil Dead 4, bro.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
He put his other movie into this movie.
Yeah. Honestly. Like, I honestly think that Sam Raimi had concepts for Evil Dead 4 that he used.
Yeah.
Like, because I bet $1 million that I don't have that the Souls of the Damned would have been the Deadites if he had the money back in 1982 when he made the first Evil Dead. That's what it was. That's what it would look like. But he didn't have the budget, so you'd have to you're gonna have to have a zombie basically. So, bro, this is like Kevin Feige told Sam Raimi, it's like, bro, it's like, you do you. And he's like, all right.
Took the money and ran.
He let loose, bro. It's like, he was let loose. This was, all right. It was good. It was very good, I think. It wasn't too long. It was straight to the point. Lots of action throughout the entire thing. Quite possibly the most creative fight in cinema history. There's some really, really strong points here, dude. And then I think the subversion of expectations, right? Like, he pulled The Last Jedi better than The Last Jedi, right? Because Last Jedi was about subverting expectations. And then this movie, I saw you. Like, this movie, like, you expected something and you got something totally different with what happened there, right? But I think the reason it happened, right, it's because we'll see it again proper sometime. So, I enjoyed it. It's weird because it's when Wanda is going into the Illuminati complex, it's like you can cover you can cover the ears of the little ones in the back seat. But it's like I've never been so terrified and aroused at the same time in a movie.
Oh, man, it's a family-friendly show.
It's a family-friendly show.
Oh, man, what are you doing?
Oh, Captain Carter, you can just stop me. So, and Wanda, you can just stop me too. I don't care. We're gonna get canceled.
Oh, man, they're gonna cancel.
Bro,
YouTube's gonna say kick them off.
Oh,
what are you doing?
YouTube, I don't know, man.
What? I do not condone the actions of my co-host. I am independent of thinking and speech.
It was crazy, dude. Okay, so Black Bolt, is that the same actor from Inhumans?
I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't even
because I never. I'll
look it up now. I'll fact check it.
Okay. Fact check it. We'll talk about fact checking here later on. Yeah. But it's important that you fact check it, Joe.
Yes.
Because it's what happened to Black Bolt, man. That was rough. That was rough. And it's funny, you're right, I thought about it. I was like, they're probably not gonna do it. And they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did it. Yeah. So is it the same actor?
Hold on.
Still working on it.
It's come through. And it is.
Okay.
It is.
Cool.
It is.
Good. If this movie would have had a different rating, his head would have exploded. Like,
there's probably another cut of that.
If this would have been the Zack Snyder film,
Oh, the one on Netflix.
He said it would explode. But I think Sam Raimi did a really good job, dude. I think he did a really, really good job. And I think this was probably the right franchise for him, I guess the right character for him to direct. I wouldn't mind seeing him back on the next Doctor Strange, honestly, if he would be interested. Or he can tackle something like Ghost Rider, bro, like something crazy, right? He can definitely, or he can be the one that actually brings Mephisto confirmed to, to the MCU. Honestly, because he could do it. Like, he can do it. Like, he proved it here. All right, go ahead. We'll talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a discussion. It's funny what you said at the beginning when you compared it to The Last Jedi. That's it. That was some of the stuff I started like getting thoughts of with this movie, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just for a couple different reasons. But I gotta be honest, like I think the reason I compare it to that just overall is because I have very mixed feelings about this movie, dude. I don't feel like a hatred toward this movie. Like, oh, I thought all this was gonna happen and I hate it because I thought I figured it out. But I also don't feel in love with this movie where like what they did was better than anything I could have expected, because it wasn't. It was one of those movies that its strong points were very strong, and the points that were disappointing stick out like a sore thumb for me. And I think, again, it comes back to that expectations conversation that you were having, because, it feels like you get moments that, like, we'll just jump into the Illuminati thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
because I think that's the controversial point of the movie, right? Honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's one of the more, I think that for me, and then to me, the very, very end, the whole like dream walking thing, like between those two moments to me, it gets messy, because it's not terrible. Like, I want to be clear, because people are going to hear me saying this, but like, it's terrible. Like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it gets messy because you have this mix mash, that moments you're like, okay, and moments you're like a little like confused. So I say that in the sense of like with the Illuminati thing, right? Like, we're all squealing like fanboys because they did the stuff where you're like, oh snap, like we knew Professor X was gonna be there, but we still are loving this. And then, you have, Mr. Fantastic and Black. Like, okay, like, we're getting hyped, right? We're all squealing like little fanboys here, right? And
then I think the communal gasp when John Krasinski showed up, it was like. It was good.
Yeah.
It was
great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
and then you get Wanda show up, and just they only last like 3 minutes of screen time.
She was so OP, bro.
And I'm like, how are you gonna undo this, dude? Like, it's like it was okay to see her powerful, because people are gonna like, what, you don't think Wanda's like? No, I'm not saying that. But it's almost like they nerfed these characters to make her more powerful.
That's the thing.
Like, this is the Illuminati, for crying out loud. So, like, it felt a little slap in the face. Like, they don't understand these characters, to have them gone in like
that's not it.
3 minutes.
Here's how I saw it. The heroes on that universe are weaker than the heroes in the other universe.
I mean, they took out Thanos and Doctor Strange. Kind of.
It wouldn't matter. Spidey would have taken out Thanos if he wasn't for Star-Lord.
Yeah. Like, so I'm just saying, right, I don't like. Yeah, no, you're good. You're right. I'm just saying, like, it felt like if this is kind of like how I felt like with certain characters, like if that's your introduction of stuff, then anything that comes after is going to be compared. Like, oh yeah, the last guy got shredded to pieces in a matter of seconds. When the Fantastic Four movie comes up, people are going to be laughing. Like, that's a problem that I have with when you do stuff like that, because you can have the character lose. That doesn't bother me. It's how you handled it, and I just it was messy. It was messy, is what I'll say. On how they did that whole entire sequence.
Yeah, and I think that's I'm standing by it, right? Because
sure.
when Strange is there talking to them, he's like, oh, you're just like I don't think you guys are really, really can, comprehend the situation of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Because, and it's because of that, right? It's like maybe their Thanos, again, maybe their Thanos was weaker too. Like, I think that's the thing, right? I think that universe.
It's the weak universe.
So here's how you see it. Yeah. So you see it because everyone in the street is like all happy and everything's clean and everything's nice. They're it's like victory has defeated you. That's exactly what I think. That's what it is, right? But when they go to when Strange goes to the other Strange and the universe all messed up, and then they have a proper battle. And so it's like, yeah, so this Strange is strong because it's like he needs to be strong for this universe, right? So I think that's what it is. It's Dragon Ball. It's like the Dragon Ball multiverse. There's heroes on all multiverse, on all universes, but some of them are very like incredible. Like Jiren was stronger than everyone in every other universe, and he only belonged to one universe, right? So that's the thing. That's the way I saw it, right? It's like I think that there's more to it, and we may see it done proper. I think this was just a tease. That said, Patrick Stewart's 81, 82 years old, bro, and is showing. And
he's a champ for coming back.
Yeah, bro. Also, I was expecting when he showed up, I was like, oh, what if they have the James Horner music? No, they had the thing from the show, from the X-Men show from the 90s, dude.
Yep.
The
theme song.
And I was like, I felt the kid, like the kid inside me. Well, the kid inside me is always out, right? Most of the time, I'd say 80% of the time. But like the kid inside me,
are you a man baby, Obed?
Bro, yeah, of course I am. Come on, certified. I have my man baby diploma hanging out here somewhere.
Oh my god!
So. When I heard the music cue, like I felt something special. It's like so cool, and I was so excited. And he was the only one, right? Like Charles was the only one that was able to hold one off for a few seconds, like for long enough for them to be able to escape.
I think his offing was probably one of the better ones. Like I wasn't as mad with the way he went out.
Yeah.
Like it still was weird, but it didn't bother me too much. But man, everybody else, I was like,
yeah, dude,
like,
because Maria,
this is your Illuminati. I was like,
yeah, because Maria wasn't as strong as Carol, dude. Carol was way stronger than that, even on the first movie. So, like, you can tell, right? These heroes were weaker, like, and that's why Strange was unfazed. Like he was there. It's like, oh, if I wouldn't have these things, I would have just gotten out of here a long time ago. Because you guys are pansies, yeah.
And so like that. So that's like one of the more messy thing. And then like the end of the movie, dude. Again, I think. Okay, so let me talk about the good things for a second, because I don't want to seem like I'm a hater. People are gonna think like, again, like, I want to be careful. Because that's the thing. I want to be careful. People hear me criticize, and it's like, no, I don't drink the fanboy juice. Like if there's something I don't like, it's something I like, I do. Like I'll tell you. But they go so amazingly well with the visualization and the innovation, the creativity with the kind of battles, like you mentioned, like one of the best battle sequences. Let's talk about that before we get into the end of the movie.
The music fight.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was amazing.
Bonkers.
I didn't see that coming. Like he hears the note, and then I'm like, what? Oh, I was there laughing, but it was like playful, and like that's Marvel. Like that's the way that you do it, you know? Like that felt very, very creative, felt very Marvel, felt very fun.
Mm-hmm.
But still like it's a fight. Like it's still like, interesting. I think like that's gotta be up there in one of those moments that's just absolutely amazing. Maybe one of the best Doctor Strange moments we've ever seen. Literally.
Yeah.
I mean that's that
it was so creative.
Remembering.
Yeah, it was so creative, right? Like as a fight, because we have fight choreography. It's something, it's different. But as a fight, it's something that's never been done before, and I think it was just absolutely excellent. And not from the visual standpoint, but also the sound design in that section. That's like home theater
Yes.
like fodder right there, dude. It's like you buy this movie and that's the scene that you play to test your home theater out
Yes.
because
I
it's
love
like
that.
incredible.
Oh my gosh. 100% with you there. And like and even for action sequences, like you go earlier, like the Comitage scene sequence, dude, was awesome.
It was very good.
Like when she shows up and he's gonna choose your words wisely and he goes talking to her. It's a great moment, and how she's able to get in the head to get in, and the mirror thing and the water, she coming out, all that kind of creativity.
Yeah.
Love that, dude. Think that was really, really smart. So yeah, no, it's just the very, very beginning sequence in the movie, right? Where it just starts off with them running, in this other, universe with America Chavez and, and a different Strange, like, again, beautiful action. So you're thinking all that stuff, okay, it's going to come together in this really cool way. But then we jump to the end of the movie and that's where I started to go, all right, somebody needed to reel this in a little bit, because conceptually, I see what you're trying to do, but on a scale of goofiness, it started to get pretty goofy, man. I mean, the moment he started having like the souls that coming together, making like a weird cape thing, and he's flying, coming together, taking it out, and people are gonna love that.
I actually liked it a lot.
See, someone
I
liked
it a lot
because
it was DMCAF, dude. It was awesome.
You like that? I get it, but look, like for someone like me watching, I was like, all right.
It's
like,
too much.
It's getting a little goofy for me. Maybe that would have worked more better on a panel of a book, maybe in an anime, but like in a live action form, it was like. And then you're trying to take him serious, and he's talking kind of cut off, and I was like, "All right, guys, like I know you're trying to really embrace this zombie thing, but that got weird." And then let's get into the whole premise of the storyline of the movie, right?
Okay. So,
were you okay with the entire way that this story was, like what their overall arc was of it, or was it like acceptable, maybe still disappointing?
It feels like it was missing a piece of it. Like it feels like, the Wanda thing was cool, right? But that would have been the perfect opportunity to say at the end of the movie, hey, the shocker, the plot twist, Wanda wasn't acting by herself. Like she was being manipulated by, I don't know, Mephisto, right? That would have been
still Mephisto's there.
That would have been the perfect opportunity, bro. Or it was Nightmare controlling her dreams,
right?
I
thought Nightmare for sure.
That was the thing, right? That was the thing, right? Like there's something missing. Like there's a piece missing, and I enjoyed it. Like I think it was definitely, I liked it better than the first one, than the first Doctor Strange. But it was, there's something missing. There was one piece to the puzzle that was not there, and you can feel it, and you can feel it's missing. So
see again, this comes back to the expectations conversation, right? That could be my problem, but I felt like Spider-Man No Way Home kind of threw a softball with this movie, setting it up for a home run, right? Yeah. What a really, really, really great movie, which is why this movie, I don't feel like this movie could fail because of how strong that movie set up, right? Really, really what they were doing here. Yep. But at the same time, Obed, I didn't expect this whole Scarlet Witch thing to be the main premise of this movie.
Yeah.
I thought that what I assumed, and this is from a marketing standpoint and just, again, assumptions, is that the storyline was going to be what you did in No Way Home, messing with the timeline and the multiverse at the same time, both things. Like now you're going to have multiversal consequences.
Yep.
That's not the theme at all with this movie.
Yep.
Because when you think about, the only time you get something like that is when Wanda's like, hey, you got to do this thing and I don't get to like make mistakes like you. But aside from that, it's really just the premise, really, let's just stop Wanda from killing America Chavez, right?
Yeah. There's no problem with that, right? I think like, because I saw like every time like there was a trailer or something out there, like everyone was like, oh, America Chavez, and she was fine. She was
fine. Yeah,
she was the lead. She was not she was not an issue to, like at all. And I took, I didn't expect it to be, right. And she was fine. Like the actress was good, and I think her character was, for what little was there for her character, right? It was pretty well explored, and it was a good setup for her. Like it was a good introduction.
Which would be for the Captain Marvel 2 movie.
I don't think, yeah, exactly. I think she's more for, or Miss Marvel, like we could see in Miss Marvel in the show, because I think that character, like her character, yes, it's important because of what she can do, right? But then at the end of the movie, we find out that she's not the only one, right? So,
right.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, but I just assumed that it was going to be more consequential to the movie prior.
Yep.
And that's not really what this movie is. This movie is more of Wanda, being an obsessive, monster mother, right? That we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
And like that works, but at the same time, it's kind of playing on the same tropes of WandaVision.
Yep.
Which probably was a little rehashed. So yeah, I think the issues that I have with the storyline a little bit mixed in with those messy moments that I talked about is where it gives me those mixed emotions. But then the stuff that it does really well, like we were just talking about, like, okay, we get that really awesome, creativity, right, with that sequence with Strange versus Strange, and the stuff we get with just the cameos alone. I was happy to see them to push that kind of stuff, and them showing them child, but did not explore the multiverse the way I would have liked it to have been. It was not the kind of Strange storyline I thought it was going to be. Yeah. I think that's what's, again, that expectations kind of left me in that mixed place. But it's not a terrible movie. It's not people are going to hear me say this and think that I hate on it. I'm now more curious a bit how the Flash is going to be, because that may handle the multiverse in a way that I actually might be more interested in, if that makes sense. What I thought this movie would have done.
All right. We got to move on, but real quick, do you think that the end credit sequence sets up the next leg of MCU movies to be not in the same universe?
Oh, I didn't think of that at all. I just thought it was Strange 3.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the way when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, maybe this means that we're going to leave this universe behind, right? And this universe it's done. And then we're going to explore other stuff.
Or remove the legacy characters from the same universe.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Iron Man, no Captain America, you take out Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
You're kind of losing those legacy characters.
Exactly. So
having new ones.
Exactly. So at that point, you have to reintroduce everyone and set up for something. So
sure.
Yeah. Cool. What's the name of the character that shows up at the end?
Clea.
Clea. Okay. Yep. I was gonna say Quaya or
Cleopatra?
Something like that. Clea. And she's Sorcerer Supreme from a different dimension, right?
She is like Dormammu's niece, sister, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Because she got it. Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. That was Doctor Strange. We shall see what comes out of that. Real quick before we move into Obi-Wan, what do you think of Way of Water? Teaser.
That was a cool trailer.
It was, right?
Cool. That was cool.
It's funny because Avatar, like I remember watching it in a movie theater and feeling stuff, and then watching it at home and not feeling the same way.
Yeah.
But this one like makes you feel. So
I don't love those movies, but it looks good. Cool.
It looks like you can tell that it's funny because you don't really see it, but like as soon as you see one of the no, not the I forgot their names, the blue people, one of the Smurfs show up on screen, they really look way better, like compared to the first one. You can tell that tech has definitely progressed. So I may catch it. It's interesting. I mean, like I said, the first movie, the movie theater was an experience, but then bringing it at home, I was like, it was okay. So we'll see. Obi-Wan, new-ish trailer. Not too much to add, right? Just a couple of new shots of the Grand Inquisitor. Some dialogue between Obi-Wan and Owen. It definitely looks like Owen doesn't really like Obi-Wan. I mean, we could tell that from episode 4, right? I really like how both of them are trying to speak almost like Alec Guinness and the actor that played Owen in the New Hope.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah, it's everyone looks good. Apparently, this show's gonna be canceled. I don't know, Joe. I mean,
Oh my God.
it's this thing's not gonna ever gonna come out, according some people on the internet.
Let's just call it what it is. Mike Zero. I don't know, man. I don't know who you're talking to, but you got to be very careful because you're putting out there stuff that feels very clickbaity.
Feels?
I would love to know. What if you really believe the stuff that you're putting out there, or is this just a fun alternative perspective? Because
alternative facts.
Well, you could say it that way too, because it just doesn't sit well when time goes by and you look back on it. It's only if you're making a prediction, right? You can make false
it's different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But when you're making statements as if they're fact,
Kathleen
Kennedy wants to cancel Obi-Wan.
Rosario Dawson getting recast for Ahsoka, and then 38 minutes later, Rosario Dawson putting pictures of her and Mark Hamill, and they're in this.
Right.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
It's like
very
no one
strange,
believes
very
it.
strange.
Like I don't even click his videos anymore. Like
you know
I would
what
just.
it is?
Mhm.
He's in the multiverse. He was dreamwalking to another universe. And another universe, Kathleen Kennedy hates this show and canceled it. And they recasted Rosario Dawson.
Oh, he's having dreams about the show getting canceled. Oh no, Joe.
I took a shot there.
It's I don't know, man. Like honestly, like I know that the dude may or may not like Star Wars, but I just don't. Like we pride ourselves in, like, we give our opinions, right, and we do predictions, but we try to fact check as much as we can before starting the show, and even during the show you guys see it, so we're very transparent about it. It's just that it's a pet peeve of mine. I really don't want to put out full information that is not accurate, and it boggles my mind how people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers out there are just making a living out of like clickbait and fake news it's never gonna happen, bro. He's like the QAnon of Star Wars. It's like none of this crap has ever happened in the last 6 years since you've been posting videos about Kathleen Kennedy quitting for 6 years, and nothing happens, bro.
And by the way, he's not the only YouTuber that's done this. There's a lot of them out there.
But he's the worst. He's by far the worst.
Yeah, it's known for it.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? It's like, why? None of this crap ever happens, bro. And you keep posting the same video every month. Kathleen Kennedy quits. Kathleen Kennedy fired. Kathleen Kennedy's still there, cashing the checks, bro.
I told you guys this for a long, like, she ain't going nowhere. Like, I took the bold statement.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was like, she's not going anywhere. Like, the moment that they had that meeting and Bob said we look to have her for years to come, I'm like, unless she quits, they ain't firing her.
I mean, I told you in private, I'll say in the podcast, Bob leaves before her, dude.
Yeah, that's probably a better prediction.
But yeah,
that makes more sense.
Like Bob gets, Bob retires before she leaves,
and she's still making movies of Star Wars.
Yep. I guarantee it, dude.
Do we want it to be that way? Well, that's a whole nother conversation
I know. No.
to have,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
We would love a new hands on Star Wars. We're not saying we don't want that, but come on, let's be factual here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got you guys. Real quick, there's a something's happening in the gaming side of things. Embracer Group entered an agreement with Square Enix to purchase Eidos, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal. Crazy. I think the craziest thing is that it's only $300 million for Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, and Legacy of Kain and all this legacy titles. I'm just surprised. Okay, here's my prediction, Joe. They're offloading this studios because they're getting bought out by Sony. And I said it before, but maybe this is something that they had to offload in order to make the merger thing that they're planning happen. I think that's my prediction, right? Like, again, this is not fake news. This is what I think it's happening. It's that they were looking to offload this, so to make the transition smoother. What's interesting is that all these teams, right? These are the guys that did Avengers, the guys that did Guardians, of course, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex. These are good games, right? This is not a sloppy studio. These are award-winning, renowned games, and $300 million for that's a steal, bro. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether they're gonna. I'm guessing that, of course, Square Enix Montreal is gonna change their name, but what's gonna happen from now? I'm not sure. I know that they're working on a Tomb Raider reboot again. They're maybe working on some other stuff. So yeah, interesting news, Joe. I don't know what your take is on it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as you. It's a steal of a price, 300 mil. There's a change around there. It's a steal for these companies that are doing great. But I agree with you. I still think we're on track to see Sony acquiring some of these studios. So let's just keep an eye on the situation. I'm sure there's more updates to come.
Yeah. We'll see. It's gonna be an interesting summer with Xbox coming out with their big, show in June. Of course, nothing's been announced with Sony. Sony hasn't put out a list for games for the new service next month. I'm still very concerned, Joe, that service is gonna just flop really bad. And I think it's just overall lack of communication. That's, they got to be more transparent, in my opinion. So, they got to do something, because time is ticking down, and we still don't know what this PSN thing is going to be, and I just PS Plus for this month was terrible, if you ask me.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
What's our PS Plus going to look like if we don't get the premium services? So, yeah, all this stuff is like, I really don't know, right? And I'm curious, and I really want to see what's happening. And I don't know, Sony, you gotta talk to us, man. You gotta do something. But yeah, yep. Just going back to Obi-Wan real quick, because I think we got a little carried away talking about Mike. Yeah, I feel it. I think that show's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. I think they're just the trailers that they're giving us are very safe, because they just don't want to put information out there and on what it is. But
you see Bob Iger, his tweets like full on, praising George Lucas on May the 4th, and then he's coming out and saying how he saw already the first few episodes of Obi-Wan when he was still at Disney, and how fans should be excited because it's really good. Like, Bob Iger is knows what he's doing as well. So he's a smart man for sure.
Of course.
But I think it's gonna be a solid show. I love the Darth Vader tease. There's some stuff out there about Reva that for some people may or may not like. I'll reserve judgment until I see the show, and then we'll talk about it from there.
Same here. Yeah, same. Yep. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Joel, I guess we gotta take a quick break again, and we'll be right back, right? Things are acting up. I think we're being sabotaged. I think it's the Zero Army is coming. All right, we'll be right back. And we're back. Yeah, and Glitch Gremlins. What's going on, guys? What's happening? At least we can get around it, right? Thanks a lot, Internet. Joel, the last bit of news that I have here, and I guess we can go from there and expand. It's that there's, I don't want to say trouble at Nintendo, because there's not necessarily trouble, but it is an area of concern, and I want to emphasize that this is not as egregious as, Blizzard, Activision, and all these guys, Riot, and nothing close. It's not even in that nature.
That we know of, yeah.
Well, it's not even in that nature, right? So there's been talks about Nintendo not being too great with its contractors. They don't have proper equipment. They are overworked, no benefits. They get left out of events and participating with other team members. And it's something we see not only in Nintendo, dude. Like, I've been a contractor, and it's not great. Like, I don't want to talk about it, right? But I was a contractor in a big company, big entertainment company that you may or may not have heard of. We may or may not have mentioned it today. And it wasn't great. It wasn't great. No benefits, no paid leave. Like, my daughter was born while I was there, and I couldn't stay home with her the first day that she went home, because
money.
I can't, right? I can only miss so many days. So it's concerning. I think the one that really surprises me the most is how behind they were on their equipment. Like, some of their equipment is multiple years old, slow, apps are old and don't work properly, and compatibility issues. That to me was, because I consider Nintendo a technology company, right? And you would think that a technology company would have high-tech equipment, right? So it was surprising to me when I heard that there's outdated equipment, and computers are old and slow, and apps are old, and I was really taken aback by that. So a lot of the contractors are coming out and saying it's like there's not really an opportunity to for us to become permanent. Yes, we work with great people, right? And everyone was very respectful, and we were all a great team. But there's the stress, always the stress that we gotta work, we gotta do all these things, crazy deadlines, and outdated equipment, software. That to me was crazy. And then I was listening to Reggie's interview on IGN, and it sounded to me that they're running Nintendo of America like if it's a mom and pop shop. When you're talking about the biggest market, the biggest video game market in the world, right? Especially for Nintendo, right? It's like, Nintendo does bonkers in Japan, right? But look at here, dude. It's like, sometimes you go to Best Buy and it's like no Switch games because they're all sold out. And no, Switches are still, they're easier to find now. But, still during the holidays, there's no Switches anywhere, and they're selling crazy. It's weird, right? It's I hear about it, and it just doesn't make sense to me that this sort of thing is happening at Nintendo, and this disconnect. Like the disconnect that we heard from Sega back when we watched the Console Wars documentary, right? Where Sega of Japan was balling, doing their own thing, and then over here, the struggles and all that. Kind of like that. But it seems like at least Nintendo it's organized, right? They're not going against each other like Sega was. And I think that's why they have been able to do as well as they do. But but it's concerning nonetheless. You know, and unfortunate to hear this. You know, this sort of thing happening at Nintendo. But yeah, I mean, what's your opinion on this, man?
I mean, I would be surprised to know that it's a money thing, right? Because that doesn't, like, to your point, they don't seem to be struggling.
Well, they're not.
They
They're all-
seem to be doing just fine. So, what decisions are going into this? Um, Only people in leadership could tell you, because clearly there's some decisions being made. Are staff being compensated so high that they're putting it into that, and then just like, you know what, people are just gonna have to deal with us running Windows Vista? You know what I mean? I don't know what the you know, like, we're just gonna just put it this way and have the best products. But
yeah, didn't they say they had machines running XP?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Windows 95, Obed.
No.
is running.
Can't connect the USB drive to it.
Yeah. Sorry.
USB compatibility started at 98, Joel. You're showing your green.
Obed.
I
Bill
was
Gates
there.
Bill
the
Gates is
beginning.
gonna be over here like, guys, you know, we made new products since then. But yeah. No, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're running, what the decisions are being made. But I mean, I feel like it's all good theories. I have a really crazy theory that's probably more comedic, but I don't know that I want to say that on the show. So, but when we go offline, let me know. It'll sound pretty crazy, but you might get a chuckle out of it, and may also have some theories on this too. But I don't want to conspire too much about it. But yeah, I feel really sad for the employees. Hopefully, with a report like this going out, now that's more on the PR side, whoever leaked this and what stuff's coming out, maybe that helps them to make these changes, because that's usually the way these things have to go, right? It's like, if nobody knows, then it continues the same. But when somebody knows, you know, there can be some point of facing the music at some point. So we'll see what that is.
Yeah, it's strange.
Strange.
I'm not. I'm not really. I mean, I'm not sure where the disconnect is. I know that Reggie was saying that he tried to push for, you know, better equipment for everyone that worked there, and the proper tools to be able to do their job properly, right? Can you imagine being an IT guy at Nintendo if, like, with old equipment? That's crazy, dude. Like, it's even with new equipment, and there's like struggles at times, and just like, oh, this computer's slow. It's like, well, you gotta deal with it because there's no new computers coming. So that must be a nightmare, bro. Like, they're probably just spending a ton of money on IT people just trying to fix stuff instead of just investing on new equipment.
Yeah.
Which, in the long run, right? If just investing on new equipment and a life, like every 3 years, 3 to 4 years, you can probably save on IT people. And instead of just paying someone, you know, the IT salary, you can use it to buy people new computers.
Which is easier to support when you have new stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So you need less people, but you have newer equipment, and employees are generally happier. Like people are not happy working with a computer that doesn't work. Like, people are miserable, dude.
Wait, Obed, you know people aren't happy when their computers
tell me
don't
about
work?
it. I hear about it every week. It's
Obed, that's news to me.
that's the thing, right? It's like, you need your computer to do your work. And if your computer doesn't work, then you're just gonna be miserable, right? It's like Office Space, right? And you gotta make this things, right? And I don't know. I'm actually curious, and I was gonna look up, because I know that Nintendo in Japan, they have remodeled a lot of stuff. Although I've seen videos, right, in recent videos, like within the last year, of like offices in Japan, bro, and it's like Japan, right? Like, freaking Japan, and I, like, bro, we have honestly, we have state of the art facilities compared to some of the office spaces that I've seen. Like, and it's crazy. It's like, oh, this is supposed to be like a technology company, and they're working on this stuff, dude. It's crazy. It's like, what year is this? So it seems to me, right, that it could be a cultural thing. It could be something that because Nintendo Japan, of course, manages the office here, and the office over in Seattle, or wherever they are in Washington, it could be cultural, right? It's like, oh, well, Nintendo Japan still has old equipment. Why are you guys asking for new stuff? That's the thing, right? So it could be a cultural thing. I'm gonna research it because it's intriguing to me, right? It's because we see this end of life thing that, even vendors like Dell and HP, they push on it. It's like, oh, it's end of life. You gotta do your refresh, and here's a proposal, and like these things happen, right? But I don't know how, Toshiba and Hitachi and all these brands, the Japanese brands, do their like push, like Vaio, they'll do their push for their business things. I'm uncertain how they actually work over there. So I'm gonna look into it. That's something that's I'm curious about. I'm gonna research it because I think it's cultural. I think what's happening, and unfortunately, we see it as employees not being, I guess, given the proper tools. But in Japan, that's how they roll, and they're rolling this office like they roll in Japan, and that's probably what's happening. So now that I think about it, it makes sense. So I'm gonna look it up, and I'll see what I can find. So, but it's interesting, right? It's one of those unexpected things that are out there, and you don't expect Nintendo to be part of this crazy thing. Like, at least they're not treating people bad, right? That's not the problem. It's that people don't have the right tools, and they're being overworked and underappreciated. So I think that's the big thing, right? And everything, they're all very secretive with the projects, right? They can't talk about anything with anyone, and localization takes a long time, and that's something that's always taken a long time, right? And we saw it back in the Super Nintendo days, where even in back in the NES days, like Mario 3 came out in Japan in 1989, dude. It came out here in 91, like almost 2 years later. Final Fantasy games, it was the same thing. They were come out like 2 years before, because localization just took a long time. So, but yeah, that there's a lot of barriers, and I'm gonna do more research into it, because I'm very curious, and how I am, I'm a sucker for like video game history and all that. So I just want to see, and I think that's where the disconnect is happening. I think it's a cultural disconnect, and not necessarily like employees are just not being treated fairly. So, Joel, that's what we got. No more technical problems, at least till the end of the show. So
we made it.
I think we're good to go, sir.
Yeah, what a great episode, man. So much stuff we talked about. I'm so glad you all stuck with us. We want you to continue to stay with us. So make sure you are subscribing to our show. We're on podcast platforms of your choice. So think of us on Apple Music, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify. Find No Load Time on your platform of choice. Hit that subscribe button. Of course, we are also on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like those videos, drop us a comment, share these episodes with your friends and family. We would invite you and welcome you to write a review about No Load Time. That helps us also in spreading the word. So you can share episodes, but you can also write a review on Apple Music or on Spotify or any of these places, and tell people what you think about No Load Time. We'd really appreciate that as well. Of course, we ask you to follow us on social media. If you're watching us on the video version right now, you'll see those handles down below. Go ahead and follow No Load Time on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. And you can also follow us on our Twitch account, where we also stream our episodes live. Twitch, No Load Time, all together. You can find us there. Last but not least, we want to invite you to send an email with your questions, comments, or feedback. Maybe you got some thoughts on some things we said today, or something you'd like to hear us talk about, or just a general question you may have. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And we will possibly, potentially even discuss it on an upcoming episode. So we welcome your feedback. Thank you all for sticking with us, and we'll be with you on our next episode.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.